2, the department versus Jada Sansom for a compliance hearing in a court ordered services case. We are conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties, and we are live streaming. I am recording today as I do not have a court reporter, so if anybody needs a copy, let us know. We'll get it to you. All right, then we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Your Honor, Eugene Graff on behalf of the state, and the state announces ready.
Savannah Kincaid, I represent Ms. Sansom, and we're ready.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of the boys, here and ready.
Okay, then Ms. Lewis, what's new since our court report was filed?
Jada has a job that she just started. And so she is trying to adjust to having a work schedule and keeping the boys on their routine and finding that balance of prioritizing work, her mental health, and taking care of those babies. She was supposed to have a counseling appointment on the 29th with Recovery with Melissa Lawson, and she was not able to go to that appointment. And so I have told her to reach out to them to try to get rescheduled so that she can get that counseling going. She does meet with TPC, like I said in the report, when we go and do our check-ins. The home is appropriate. The boys are doing great in daycare. I think I did also mention in the report, both fathers are involved. And we have been able to, the department's been able to meet with each one of them at least once a month. And so they're all trying to navigate the co-parenting situation, but I know that they've been a help to Jada when she's had to work or been looking for work or had appointments. So they've made a lot of progress in that area. We're just going to keep encouraging her to prioritize her mental health while also trying to balance being a mom and working.
Okay. Ms. Sansom, I reviewed the report that was filed, and I mean, it sounds like you're doing really, really well.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to encourage you to just keep up the good work. I know it's a lot. You got a lot of balls to keep in the air and juggle, but you know, you can do it. You can do it.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
I'm really, really pleased with the progress you've made and just real proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Zavala or Ms. Kincaid, anything? I'm sorry.
Is she staying in contact with you?
Yes.
And has she been cooperative with you?
Yes, ma'am. 100%. I've had zero issues with her not being compliant or not staying in contact. If she's had to change a phone number or if something's come up with one of her services, she's communicating that to me. I've not had any communication issues with her.
Awesome. Thank you. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ms. Zavala.
Your Honor, I got to visit with the boys in the home. They looked great. Even, you know, at a time, 6 o'clock after a full day of daycare, when sometimes you can have those meltdowns, they seem to be doing really great. Elijah even tried to share his Cheetos with me, and it was really sweet. So I do really commend Mom for all of her hard work. I think she's doing a great job of trying to get everything balanced. And I know she's going to be reaching out about that counseling and rescheduling it. But at this time, I've got no concerns about the boys, and glad to see how well they're doing.
All right. Okay. Good news all the way around. That's a great way to start the day. Thank you, Ms. Sansom. My day doesn't usually start that way. So,
that's really good.
Yeah, it is. You got no idea how good it is. Okay. All right. So we're going to just continue everything. Keep working through your services and whatever it is you need. You know, sounds like you're staying in touch with Ms. Lewis. So you know, just keep doing what we're doing, and this will all turn out great. So I'll continue the service plans and I'll see you back. We've got another clients hearing set for August 29th. And that's on a 9 o'clock docket. You know, if these folks feel like everything's going really, really well between now and then, I mean, they may decide that, you know, you can be done with us, okay, even before that hearing. But you know, if there's something that we can still help you with and you need, then you know we will stay involved. So that you know, we want this to be a 100% success.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So I will see you back then, and until then, we'll just keep up all the good work.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, thank you, and you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you too.
Okay. The department versus Jada Sansom. We're here for a compliance hearing. We are a compliance hearing in a court-ordered service case. We are conducting this through Zoom, and we are live streaming. I'm recording to the Zoom cloud today because I don't have a court reporter. So if anybody needs a copy, let me know. Okay, we'll take announcements.
Eugene Graff and Andrea Lewis on behalf of the state, Your Honor, ready, prepared to proceed.
Savannah Kincaid, I represent Ms. Sansom. I have not recently have contact with her. I did send her a copy to the link for today's hearing. I don't see her here, and she hadn't made contact with my office, Your Honor, but I'm present and ready.
Stacey Zabala on behalf of the boys.
Okay. Well, obviously I've reviewed the report. But I guess we'll go ahead and get an update from Ms. West.
Andrea, if you could, yeah, you go.
Hi. We've had some setbacks with Jada. She continues to work, continues to take care of the boys. They're going to daycare. She's trying to co-parent with Damien's dad. Her support system is small, but she's doing her best to make it work. Our biggest concern right now, Your Honor, is her mental health. She was doing so well. She got on her meds. She was getting engaged in services, and then she started working, and she is working a lot. And so she has just kind of put therapy and those kinds of things on the back burner. And then for a while, she was still taking her meds. Well, then she did admit to us last month that she had not been taking her meds because she had not gone and picked them up. So I worked with TPC and our HST, and we got her meds picked up and got them back to her, and she has resumed those. And I've just stressed to her, you know, it's like eating every day. It's like taking a bath and brushing your teeth. Like, you're going to have to make it a habit of taking your meds and prioritizing your mental health. I met with her and the boys on Saturday, and everybody seemed to be doing well. But I did tell her before court today, I wanted her to get her appointment with TPC rescheduled, and I wanted her to get scheduled with her counselor. And I have not heard back from her about if she did either one of those things. So that's our biggest issue is I need her to find that balance between all the things that moms do, but also take care of herself, because our concern is that if she does not take care of her mental health, then she is ultimately going to put her kids at risk. But as of right now, the boys are doing fantastic. She's doing a great job. I just really need her to take care of herself.
Okay. So I know that the department's asking for an extension in this case to continue to work with her and see if we can't help get her some services she needs. Ms. Kincaid, any objection to that?
I'm not in a position to object, Your Honor. But if Ms. Lewis has an updated phone number, I've got her email address and other contact information, but her phone number isn't working. So if you could send that to me in a message, I'd really appreciate it. But I'm not in a position to object or agree either way.
Okay, I understand. Ms. Lewis, did you discuss with her the fact that we would extend in the case and try to keep working on this?
Yes, she has told me several times she's overwhelmed. She's tired of us. She's not being ugly or anything like that. She's just being very open and honest about things. And I feel like she feels like we're one more thing to worry about. But I told her, you know, I don't want her to see us as a burden. I want her to see us as a cheerleader for her, an advocate for her, a support for her, because like I said, her support system is very small. So she continues to work.
well with me. It's just, I mean, every time I see her, she's tired. She's raising 2 little boys pretty much on her own and working all the time and doing the best that she can. So I told her, I said, I'm not going to go anywhere until we know that you have found that way to take care of yourself and then take care of your boys too.
How much does the dad have the kids?
So, Darren is Damien's dad. He has them off and on. When she has to work evening shifts, he'll help with Damien. Sometimes he'll help with Elijah, but then other times he'll tell her, well, that's not my kid. I'm not going to help you with her or with him. So he's around. We've offered him services too, but he cannot keep a phone or a steady way to like get a hold. And he's kind of trained, like he changes where he stays. And so, it's been hard to kind of get a hold of him and kind of see where he's at on things. He did take a rational behavior class that we asked him to do. So I'm glad that he did that, but they just continue to kind of have this, kind of these petty, like little tiffs between them, but he does help with Damien, but, not so much with Elijah. She's had to take Elijah to work with her, a few times, and then her sister helps, and then her boss sometimes helped. But if she doesn't have anybody to watch him in the evenings, he has to go up to the store with her and stay up there with her. So she's juggling a lot, which is all the more important reason for her to have that safe space to decompress and take care of herself and get the support that she needs for her mental health, because it's overwhelming.
All right. Well, Ms. Zavala.
Your Honor, I had previously met with the kids and Jada and Darren in Jada's home, but that's been a while ago now. I was scheduled, Kelly scheduled me to meet with the kids at daycare yesterday, and I will tell you, I screwed up. I misremembered my calendar, and I had a client come back from Runaway, and so I went to meet with her and thought I'll do the daycare tomorrow. I was thinking their case was next week, and I screwed that up, but I will be there either today or tomorrow, depending on how long court goes today. But when I did see the boys, they looked really good. All the reports are every time they're seen, they're good. I had just wanted to see them at the daycare this time. So I will be doing that no later than Friday. But I have not seen them recently.
Okay. All right. Anybody have anything else to report then?
No, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Zavala, are you in favor of the extension?
I am, Your Honor. I mean, I think she's trying hard. I do think she's overwhelmed. But I think we've got to make sure for her and the kids that mental health is taken care of.
Have we looked, Ms. Lewis, have we tried to talk with her about how we could expand her support system? I mean, I don't know whether.
I've asked her if there's other family members or family friends that, we could look into to help her with the kids. Daycare's open from 7 to 6. And so we don't have, as far as the department goes, we don't have any options for like caregivers in the evenings and those kinds of things. I've tried to give her services that she can do online or, in the mornings when she's not necessarily, we've tried to accommodate that. Sometimes her work schedule varies, but then also her want to do those things. It's not been there. We've gone and got her meds. We've taken her meds to her, we're trying to help her as much as we can, but she's going to have to kind of meet us halfway a little bit. And I get that she's got a lot of trauma from her past and does not have the greatest support system family wise. And I know she has to rely on Darren because, that's Damien's dad. But as far as that goes, I think she's doing the best she can, but we've just got to get her to put some effort into herself.
I wish we just had a better way of helping her develop more of a support system, and whether that's through church or work or, whatever it might be. And I understand she's, she probably has very few free hours in the day. Well, I'm going to go ahead and grant the extension in the case. And I think all you can do is just continue to stress to her that it's we're here to try to help, not hinder. Okay, then, we'll set another review hearing for November 19th. Just continue everything until that time, and then we'll take a look at it then. Okay. All right. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Judge. Have a great rest of your day. This is the last matter I have, so with your
Okay,
permission, I'll
let's
sign
see.
off.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I've lost Mom. Mr. Langford's still out there in Zoom purgatory. Don't know. Ms. Naranjo, do you have her phone number?
All her phone numbers that I've contacted recently have been disconnected, so I haven't spoken with her since mid-May.
Okay. Ms. Sessions, I don't know if you've got any contact info.
Let me look and see what the latest number we have is.
Ms. Sessions, if it's the one I got this morning for Brandon, it's disconnected.
Okay, it probably is not been updated in our system then.
And now I've lost him completely too. So they're obviously having some internet problem. Now, we've got no audio with either one of them. Ms. Lyons, Mr. Langford, I'm going to ask y'all to unmute just so I make sure we've got good audio with you. Okay, Ms. Lyons, I can hear you, Mr. Langford.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Very good.
Judge, I'm sorry, can I speak with Ms. Lyons really briefly?
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to also, if that's possible.
We are here today on a status hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We are live streaming and I'm recording to the Zoom cloud. I don't have a court reporter this morning, so if anybody needs a copy, let me know and we'll make that available. Okay, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Melinda Powell for the Department of St. Francis Permanency Specialist. Today is Aaron Sessions.
Kenner Alho for the mother, Alexis Lyons. We're both present and ready.
Jay Michelson on behalf of Brandon Langford, we're present and ready.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of Carson.
All right, thank you. Okay, then, Ms. Sessions, I guess we'll look to you for an update, whatever we've had developed since the court report was filed.
Carson's doing really well in placement. He is no longer having any withdrawal symptoms. He recently had a ECI evaluation and they are going to be seeing him like once a month in the home, and then foster mom will be working with him weekly. He's not shown the ability to like make eye contact. He's been having issues with that, which is a milestone for a baby his age. So they've given her some, I think, black and white cards to help with helping to train him to make better eye contact. But overall, he's doing really, really well. He's visiting with the parents weekly in our office, and they are still required to wear masks and gloves at those visits because they did have a positive hair follicle test in May. The UA in May was clean on both parents, though. And then the doctor filed a recommendation that they continue to do that also, or continue to drug test regularly, and if they're positive, to not have access to the kid. And I believe that was filed with the court. Both of the parents have, I believe, all of their services set up. I know that Alexis has completed her psychosocial, and I think has counseling scheduled, and parenting also maybe. The referrals for OSAR have been made, so Linda Dudley should be reaching out to them if she has not already. But the services are set up. Both parents are working. Both parents have a place to live right now. So everything is kind of moving forward like it should.
Okay, great. All right, Ms. Naranjo.
Judge, Ms. Lyons is in agreement with the service plan and continue working services, and she's been doing really well so far.
Okay, great. Mr. Michelson.
Likewise for Brandon.
Okay. And Ms. Zavala.
Your Honor, Carson's doing great. He did have that extended period of withdrawal, but he's doing lots better. My only concern has been addressed, is just making sure that those precautions continue so that he's not re-exposed, and it sounds like everybody's following that. And hopefully once those drug tests are clean, that masks and gloves can be removed and things like that. But I do have concerns about re-exposure because of how severe his withdrawal was. But he's doing great, and it sounds like the parents are getting off to a really good start.
Okay. All right, then Ms. Lyons and Mr. Langford, let me talk to you real quickly about these service plans. Your attorneys have likely told you this, but I'm required under the law to make sure that you understand a few things. So first of all, it's really important you work your services because there's valuable information there. I mean, that's the first and foremost reason. But I also have to tell you that if you don't work your service plans, you don't complete those things, it could result in the child not going home. Worst case, it can mean termination of your parental rights. Okay. So failure to work services or to complete services is a ground for termination of parental rights. And I'm very happy to hear you all have gotten a start on things, that this is all moving forward, because believe it or not, the clock is ticking and time will run out. We don't have forever to get these things done. So, it's always encouraging when parents jump in and get going. The most important thing, obviously, is to stay clean. You can work all these other services. You can take all the parenting classes that there are out there. But if you can't stay away from drugs and you can't stay clean, I just don't have much option there. I can't send an infant back into the care of somebody who's under the influence and he's struggled. He's already had a struggle. We can't have him go through that again. So, work the services. If you're struggling with addiction, reach out for help. Everybody here is here to help you all. And, we want this to be successful. So, just bear in mind that those things are really important, and that the sooner you can get through these things and get them done, obviously the better, and the sooner we can look at reunification, so. Okay. Do either of you have any questions you want to ask me?
I'm pretty clear on everything right now, so I'm good.
Okay. All right. Ms. Lyons, do you have any questions today?
Ma'am.
Okay. All right. All right, then I wish you both, really, really good success in the next several months. I'll see you back for the initial permanency hearing in October. That'll be October 8th on a 9:00 docket. You'll get a new Zoom link. They'll make sure your attorneys or your caseworkers will make sure that you have that information. And until that time, I will find that there would be a continuing danger to send the child home at this point in time, that the department's using reasonable efforts to reunify the family, and that the service plans will be made in order of the court today. And parents have been admonished that failure to work those services could result in termination of their parental rights. All right, I will see you all back. We'll continue. I'll see you back in October, but we'll continue Carson's current placement, and I'll continue the department as temporary managing conservator. Appreciate you all showing up today. Thank you very much, and do stay in contact with your lawyers. It's super important that you stay in touch with them and they know how to reach you.
Judge, can we get a court-ordered UA on both parents today?
Sure. Yeah. So you all need to go do those UAs today. Do both of you know where to go?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. You need to be there before 4 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thanks, Judge.
Thank you all
Have a
very
good
much.
day.
Have a good day.
Honor, just to inform you, I talked with Rachel yesterday. I will be appearing before Judge Branchow on the 84th in about 15 minutes.
Okay. Thank you.
And,
So do you have anything of import in this case that you want to jump in here?
Brandon appears to be completing some services. I believe he needs to complete an OSAR. I think there was an issue about him getting tested.
Hang on a minute. We'll let you just tell you what, when we do announcements, why don't you do that?
Okay.
And then
all right.
That'll be on the record for you.
Okay.
Hey, Rachel, I'm looking for
Aaron. If I could have announcements.
Daniel Trial for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Aaron Tyndall is my permanency specialist. We were present ready.
Thank you.
Kendra Naranjo on behalf of the mother, Alexis Lyons, we're both present and ready.
Thank you.
Jay Michelson on behalf of the father, Brandon Langford. I believe he's not present, but I'm ready.
Thank you. Did you want to make a further announcement, sir?
Yes, it's my understanding that he has completed some services. I believe there are several outstanding services, one of them being an OSAR to complete. I know there was an issue with his recent drug test. I believe the testing facility indicated that there was not sufficient hair to test him, and they were recommending that he not shave his hair for the remainder.
Thank you.
Your Honor, Stacy Zavala on behalf of Carson.
Thank you very much. Mr. Trout.
Thank you, Your Honor. Aaron Tyndall will be my witness today, Your Honor. How are parents doing? Start with mom. How is mom doing?
Mom is doing well. She did a stint in rehab for the month of July. Since she has been out, she has started her services, and they both, but definitely mom, have been working on getting those completed.
Okay. Since she's been out, mom has drug screened for you?
Yes, she has. She has done 2 UAs that I believe were negative. And then 1 hair follicle. Excuse me, I have 1 UA that is negative. She did complete 1 last week for me. I have not gotten those results. And then we had a hair follicle that was positive.
Was it positive? And that was after she got out of rehab? It was still positive?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was still positive even after rehab.
Okay.
She was only in rehab for 30 days. We do have an acknowledgement of use from Brandon that I would assume would include both of them. That was for June. So the hair follicle being positive isn't outside the realm of, possibility, or saying that she hasn't used since June, and she would still test positive on the hair follicle when I gave it to her in August.
Okay. And she did her rehab in July?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But since then, you got at least 1 negative UA since she's been out.
Yes, and she has been compliant with taking them. I do not have this month's UA results yet back to report that. So.
Okay. Has she worked on an OSAR, a new
She
OSAR?
does not have to complete an OSAR because we did get the completion of her rehab stay.
Okay, thank you. Is she working on the Padre program?
Yes, she is working with our program Padre to do her parenting classes and substance use classes.
Okay, and she is actively engaging in those?
Yes, she is.
Okay. Since middle of September, she's been able to do visits without having to wear gloves and masks?
That is correct.
Okay. Has she done she did her psychosocial or is working on that?
She has completed her psychosocial and has completed at least 1, if not 2 or 3 sessions with Jennings Counseling. I have not received their report back from them to have more information on that yet.
Okay. Is there anything else that you need mom to start engaging in, or that she needs to start working
on? Not necessarily right now. I think she is working on getting good and stable employment that will be, sustainable for her and Carson and the family. That is her biggest thing. And then just maintaining her sobriety and maintaining the services that we do need to get completed.
Okay. And is she currently working right now?
She is currently working.
Okay. And does she and dad live together? They have separate places? How are they?
They do live separately. She is living here in Amarillo now. So she is closer and easier to get to Carson and her services. And they are still reporting to me that they're going to look for a place together, that they want to be together and be a family, with her, him, and Carson.
Okay. Once that starts, are we going to work on any family therapy or couples counseling with them?
Yes, once we can get them together, once we're, a little further down the line, have more stuff completed, we will look at doing family therapy for sure.
Okay. Dad, how is dad staying in touch with you?
Yes, dad is staying in very good contact. I did talk with him this morning and I sent him the court link this morning, but he is working. So I'm not sure if that's his hurdle for being here. Okay. He is working on his services. He has completed at least, so I have 2 negative UAs on dad, and then we did miss July. We did have the acknowledgement of use though at the end of June. But he has completed 2 negatives, and then I don't have the results from this month. He has started his parenting classes and substance use through our Padre program as well. The OSAR has been a hurdle, just getting it scheduled and getting it completed.
Okay, but that is being worked on.
Yes, it is being worked on.
Okay. Now I know that in the report you're asking for dad to be ordered not to cut his hair or shave body hair. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and that's due to us not being able to get hair follicle tests when they are requested.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And has that always been bald, or is this kind of something new is why we're asking this?
As far as I have been working with them, Dad has always had very, very close shaved hair or very short hair. So I would imagine that this is just his typical haircut. I have also, informed them that they can take hair from other parts of the body, such as an armpit. And so if that is something he has been cutting, to stop that, or even to offer that next time he goes in for a hair follicle.
Okay. So as far as that, you're not sure if the testing site tried to pull hair from their other areas and couldn't?
I am not sure if they tried to pull hair from any other areas.
Okay. All right. Has Dad done his RBT classes, his rational behavior?
They have those scheduled for this month.
Okay. Outside of, now you said, Mom, you received certificate from the rehab, so you don't need an OSAR on Mom, correct?
I do not need an OSAR on Mom because we did receive the certificate of completion, and I believe it was e-filed as well.
Okay. The only thing today that you would be asking the court to order was for Dad not to shave head or body.
That is correct.
Okay. How is the child doing?
Carson is doing wonderful. He is growing. He is getting bigger. I swear every time I see him. He is healthy. They do have ECI check-ins, but he does not have any services at the moment. He's meeting all of his milestones. They report visitation with parents are doing great. I have no concerns for Mr. Carson at all.
Okay. Are there any other updates that you feel the court needs to know?
I had talked with Alexis last month. Now that she is not living with her mother, Lisa Lyons, Lisa is still very much interested, from what Alexis has reported to me, about being placement. I know there was some issues in the beginning with that, but I will be pursuing a conversation with her and those talks with Lisa now about the possibility of this, and that would be maternal grandmother. And that would be the only update that I have as far as anything different.
Okay. And is it recently that Mom has not been living with grandmother?
Yes, it is within the past probably 4 weeks.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Nope, that should be it.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, Kendra, I'm just going to call you Kendra.
That's fine, Judge. Ms. Tyndall, what is the department needing to do as far as before considering placement with Ms. Lyons' mother?
I will have to speak with Lisa just to have a conversation. I will need to do a home visit to check and assess the safety of the home. I have ran background checks as far as criminal and child welfare history. And then we will request a home study done. If everything checks out, if she is still interested in being placement and willing to do these things, we will request a home study.
And would the department be opposed to an expedited home study?
We would not, as long as she is willing and able to comply with everything in the home study. We can request a expedited home study if it is ordered.
And regarding Ms. Lyons' visits, how often is she having visits with the child?
Sorry, you'll have to repeat that. It cut out on my end. I apologize.
You're fine. How long has Ms. Lyons been having visits with the child? How long and often are they?
We have 1 hour weekly visits. That was due to the drug use and I believe a past court order. Since we have gotten the negative UAs, I have been able to staff with my supervisor and director, and we have been able to drop the mask and gloves part of the visits. And then the next time we staff, we will look at increasing that as long as we have continued negative UAs.
At this point, would the department be opposed to increasing her visitation to 2 hours?
As far as I know, we would not, but that's not just a call I make. That's something I have to staff with my director and supervisor.
I'll pass witness.
Okay, we don't, Dad's attorney's already made his statement. Ms. Zavala, not going to forget you this time.
I'm sorry, me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I believe with Ms. Tyndall's report on the child, she has covered anything that I was going to ask.
Well, thank you. Mr. Trout, any other witnesses?
Just call Mom just real quick, Your Honor.
Okay.
Alexis Lyons.
Ms. Lyons, if I can get you to raise your right hand, please, and unmute.
Is everything going fine with your services? Are you having any issues?
No, not at all. It was just kind of after getting out of rehab, it took me a minute to get back into routine, but once I got it. I got everything on a planner now, and I'm doing actually really well with it.
Okay. And you have no issue continuing working in your services and finishing those up?
No.
Okay. Communication with your workers, fine? Okay. Do you have any concerns today?
My only thing, I mean, not really a concern. I just really, I don't really know what expedited means, but I'm just really set on my mom getting Carson. I know that he's being well taken care of right now, but it still would be nice for my mom to have him.
Yes, ma'am. Just so you know, expedited just means quickly. We'll do
okay.
it the normal is what that means. And you're not having any triggers or any wants to use at this time?
No wants to use, but I'm not going to say no triggers. I mean, because triggers will be something I face for the rest of my life. But as long as I have the right coping skills, it's all right.
Okay. Outside of your other services, are you doing anything such as like NA just to try to help you along?
Yes. I do. I'm an outpatient with parole, and I do that once a week for 2 hours. I do that every Tuesday. I'm supposed to be in it right now, but then I go to NA 3 times a week.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. I'll pass the witness.
Kendra, any questions?
Just briefly, Your Honor. Ms. Lyons, so are you wanting to ask the court today for a quicker home study on your mother?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you wanting your visitation with your son increased to 2 hours a week today?
Of course.
I'll pass the witness.
Ms. Zavala.
I have no questions of this witness.
Okay. You understand, Ms. Lyons, that if your mother is the placement, that you cannot go over there except for specific rules?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And if you're requesting 2 hours, do you want them together or do you want them spread out?
I would like them together. I feel like it's important for us to be bonding as a family. I mean, I can see both sides, but I want it together.
Thank you. Any further witnesses, Mr. Trout?
No further witnesses, Your Honor.
Does anybody have any witnesses, any of the attorneys? If you do, wave at me. Okay.
No.
Thank you. Ms. Lyons, let me commend you. It sounds as though you are on the right path. And I'm sure that everybody would like to see your child back in your care. And it sounds like the father is also working his services. And I commend him for being at work. That's great. I am going to order that the father not cut his hair until there is enough length to do a UA properly. Or you can volunteer hair from other places, but that's between him and the worker. I do order that the grandmother's placement review be done as quickly as possible. I don't know that expedited is actually on a local placement, the term, but I'd like to see that done by the end of the month at the very latest. And it should be even sooner than that, but I know of timelines. Let's see. I do believe that reasonable efforts have been made in this case, and that the parents are both working, and I assume that the plan is still reunification. So I will allow the mother to have 2-hour visits. Please don't disappoint me on that and make Judge Baker be mad at me. Okay. I have Rachel. I need a final in this matter, please.
Judge, we can set the final on April the 8th at 9 o'clock.
Okay, does that work for everybody's calendar? If you'd look real quickly, please.
Work for me, Your Honor. I'll be with Judge Baker all
the time. You'll be here no matter what, right?
Me too.
Okay, so the final in this matter will be set for April the 8th at 9 a.m. The permanency review, the second perm is set for February the 4th in this court also at 9 a.m. Let me remind you, Ms. Lyons, that you are to work your service plan. I'm required by law to tell you this. This is not a threat. It is a fact. It's the law. If you don't, your rights to this child could still be restricted or terminated. So please stay on the path you're on. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Thank you. We'll go off the record.
Thank you, Honor.
Hi, Gabby.
Hi.
With her awesome pink cast.
Yeah. Good morning, Gabby. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good.
I'm Judge Baker. I'm your judge. So
Okay.
I'm going to put you in what we call a conference room with your attorney. So here in just a second, you're going to get on your screen, you're going to see this little prompt, and it's going to say to go to room 3, and you all can just say join.
Okay.
And Stacy, you could just go back to 3. That's where you're assigned.
Okay, Gabby, we're just waiting just a little bit and then we'll get started.
Okay.
So it's just going to be quiet for a while while we're waiting for the other people.
Okay.
Unless you want to tell me something. Uh-oh, we got you muted.
I'm excited for court.
Are you excited for court?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm excited that you're excited. It's actually
I'm
usually
excited for myself.
It's actually
because I get to go to another placement close to home.
Okay. They're going to probably tell me all about that.
And Your Honor, I will make an official motion once it's time to announce, but I would ask to go off of YouTube here shortly.
Hopefully Mr. Hill won't object.
No objection.
Will tell you, Judge, that Gabby fixes the best hair. Like she fixes my hair when I go and visit her. And she's good at it.
Oh, and I have a cute hairstyle.
Stacy, maybe I better go with you. I think I could use a little help.
Okay, come on.
I know I could.
I'm really good at hair and braids.
That is awesome.
Can you braid your own hair?
I can braid my own hair because I have a broken arm.
True. That makes things a little bit more difficult, doesn't it?
Yeah. I can't even fix my own hair. I can't even put in a ponytail.
Well, I broke my arm on the first day of summer after first grade. Terrible timing.
Oh, good.
That was terrible timing. But I went to the swimming pool anyway.
Yeah, I can't because I have a broken arm. And I don't want my arm getting wet.
But you know, they make these really cool things now that you can put over your cast. And that will waterproof it.
Yeah, I heard about those.
Yeah. They didn't have those when I was a kid and I broke my arm. So my mom put it in a bread sack. It worked reasonably well. I had to do a lot of this, Gabby. I had to hold my arm like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad my family's gonna be there too.
Well, I'm excited to hear about all this because some of this is new stuff for me.
How long does it take them to get there? My mom and my brother, I think. My brother might be coming.
Do you mean to the hearing?
Yeah.
I think your mom's already here and she's in, you know how we went to a breakout room? She went to a breakout room. So I think she'll be back in just a moment.
Okay.
Yeah, she's talking with some people. They'll be back here in a few minutes, I think.
Okay.
And then you'll see everybody on the screen.
But I'm glad my mom is there too. I'm just in a bare room. Y'all lucky that y'all get to be like in a court.
Well, and actually, we're all just sitting in our own offices, kind of like you are. So we're not in a room all together. We're just all on the computer together. Are you sitting in that room where I get to come and meet with you?
Yeah. Y'all get to work at a court and I don't.
We get to do what?
Well, the people that are there and they like announce stuff, they're lucky because they have to be in a court. They get to be in a court.
Well, and now you get to too.
I've never been in a court actually.
I figured from when we talked that this would be your first time.
But yeah. It's kind of fun. Like gonna go to a new placement and that and stuff.
So remember what we talked about. We've got to wait and see when they find a placement. So we'll talk about that more in just a little bit. But that's what we're all asking for. But we have to wait and see what they find.
And there's a lots of placements in Amarillo.
Sometimes it takes a while to find just the perfect one that has everything that you need and gets you closer.
Oh, and I might like get some snacks since I'm leaving. Will you get me some snacks when I leave, Mr. Juan? I know you're gonna get candy for me, aren't you?
Maybe.
Mr. Juan, it can't be a surprise. I'm just playing. I didn't actually put it on my mouth. Arr.
That's a good look. I like it.
Wait. Mr. Juan.
So who did your hair today? It looks super cute.
Thank you. And who did it? Miss Erica L.
Nice. Well, she did a great job.
Yeah, she did.
So I think I saw that y'all get to go on some trips there, right?
In Amarillo?
Oh, y'all are going to Amarillo? I thought y'all were going to New Mexico. They're from placement.
Oh.
That may be later in the summer.
So I might be leaving in like July?
You know, we don't know yet when you're going to be able to leave. And I promise you, I'll tell you as soon as I know.
I have an outie on my leg.
You have an ouchie on your leg? What happened?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just playing.
So last summer there was a garden out there. Are you getting to work in the garden?
Yeah, there's a garden, but it got torn up because of the storm.
Ah, so you got to replant it.
Hailstorm. But they're going back. So is the planting. And I'm bruising easily.
So you may not be able to see until they talk. So maybe mom can say hi.
Hi, Gabby.
Hi, Mom.
How are you today?
I'm good.
She's excited to be here with us.
Yeah.
You look pretty today.
Thank you. You're silly, Mom.
Of course.
You're always silly.
Really?
Yeah. But I'm silly too.
Yes, you are.
Okay, we got everybody back.
Thank you, Mom.
I love you too.
I love you too. I mean, I love you.
All right, Miss Gabby, we're going to get started, okay?
Okay.
Right. We're here today on a review hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We're live streaming right now, and I am recording to the Zoom cloud. I don't have a reporter this morning. Okay. There's been a motion to go off of YouTube. Council, any objection to that?
No objection.
No objection.
We're gonna request it also.
No
Okay.
objection.
All right, so I'll stop the live stream since Gabby's present with us through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We are live streaming, and I am recording to the Zoom cloud today. I don't have a court reporter, so if anybody needs a copy, just let us know and we'll make that available. Okay, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Melinda Powell for the department. The worker testifying today is Mia House. She is not with St. Francis. She's with the agency that deals with cases in Jefferson County. I'm not sure which agency that is, but I don't think it's the department. Mia, who are you with? Miss House?
It's Texas Care Family Network.
I still didn't understand that. Say it again.
I'm sorry, can y'all hear me?
There you go.
It's Texas Care Family Network.
Okay. So that's who's going to be testifying, Judge. And just to let the court know, this case is kind of a procedural mess. The case was transferred in as one case. However, there are 3 separate orders in Potter County regarding these children. So once we get past this hearing, our office will be trying to clean up the procedural mess that is this case and getting it, getting the cases taken apart and transferred into the correct cause numbers and such. So severed, that's the word. Getting this severed into 3 different cases and consolidated into the correct cause numbers. So just to make the court aware, this will end up being 3 different cases.
Okay. All right, I appreciate the heads up. All right, then, did we get everybody? We need to finish up announcements.
Savannah Kincaid, I represent Ms. Johns. We're present ready.
Karen Naranjo for the father, Javier Rivera. He's not present. I have not had any contact with him. Also, Judge, as another procedural issue, I was looking over those family plans of services. All the services recommended in those plans are also for Jefferson County. None of them are for Potter County.
That would be it.
Jay Michelson, on behalf of the alleged father, David Forkba. It's my understanding he has not been served. He has not signed a family plan of service. And it's also my understanding he was deported to Liberia recently, according to the mother.
Stacy Zabella on behalf of the kids. I've been reaching out where I can since I found out about the transfer, but we have no contact information for the kids. So I've had no contact with them yet.
Okay.
We're missing Jeff.
Yeah, he was here earlier. Okay. I don't know if somebody wants to shoot him a message. That's fine. He was in earlier hearing with us. He was in our last hearing. Okay. So regarding the family plans, I mean, those were obviously prepared before the case was transferred. So those are going to have to obviously be amended and revisited. As far as I imagine, most of it's just going to have to be different service providers. Probably the services that are in there are going to be substantially the same, but safe to say, we're going to order some services to be worked in the case, but we will need to amend those plans now that the case has been transferred here to Potter County. Are all, Ms. Powell, did I understand it correctly? All of the children, there were courts of continuing jurisdiction on all 3 children out of Potter County?
I believe so, Judge. I looked at that. I know at least, I believe all of them do. I looked at the transfer in, and I think there were orders attached for all of those kids. I can double check real fast.
Okay.
I know definitely 2 of them there were, but it is going to end up being 3 different cases for sure.
Judge, I know Mr. Rivera has one. He was adjudicated back in 2017. And I can give that cause number if y'all need it.
So I read in the affidavit that mom had been living in Randall County prior to this, and so did we get this just because those are all courts of continuing jurisdiction here?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. So Ms. Johns, where are you living now?
I'm currently in Amarillo at my mom's house.
Okay. What county are you in?
Potter.
Okay. All right. And is it your intent to remain there for a while?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Probably not at my mom's house, but here in Amarillo, Texas, yes.
Okay. All right.
Judge Kilm just messaged me because she's so awesome and said, yes, there were prior orders for all the kids in Potter County.
Okay. All right. Well, we've got some cleanup to do procedurally, but it doesn't really change the nature of what we need to do today. I don't think so. We're going to go ahead and move forward with our status hearing. So let's see, Ms. House, if you want to just kind of give us a quick update on the case since the temporary order was entered.
Yes, ma'am. Just like an update on the kids.
Update on the kids and anything that you've got on mom or any of the dads.
Okay. So as far as mom, I mean, mom has been in contact and everything. When I first got the case, I know mom was staying at a hotel in Houston, Texas, and then a courtesy worker went out, did a visit with her, and she did notify the courtesy worker that she was going to move back to Amarillo. She did notify me as well. So like she stated, she is staying with her mom currently right now in Amarillo, Texas. She currently does have a job right now. She let me know with devoted assistance. I know she's a caregiver. She let me know the hours and everything. And then as far as Mr. Javier, he was on our permanency conference when we had a permanency conference, and they had let him know like what he would need to do and obtain that way he can get Mariah back. And he said he wanted to do what he needs to do. And when I scheduled an FSNA to do with him, a family strength and needs assessment, he didn't get on that call. I did send him the link today so he can get on, but he said I called him at a bad time. He said he was at some meeting or something for a job bidding. As they said about Mr. Forkpa, Miss Johns had reported that he did get deported back to Liberia. And then as for Mr. Frost, he's currently incarcerated.
So does Mr. Rivera, we think, lives here in Amarillo?
Yes, ma'am. From my understanding on the address we have on file for him, he stays in Amarillo.
Okay.
Judge, if I may, there was attempted service on him at the address, and the sheriff's reported that he no longer lives there.
Okay. Well, at least we've got a working phone number. Mrs. Naranjo, have you had any contact with him?
No, Judge, we've tried the number that was located on the prior order as well as the number that we were provided by the department, and neither one got a response.
Okay. All right.
I can provide the number.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Ms. Johns, do you have a good number?
I currently no. I went to his house, the house that I know that he was at the last year when I was this year when I was here before I went to Houston, but I don't know if he still stayed there or what. Because he's never had any addresses or phone numbers on file since we also got a child support case that he's got to pay child support and can't nobody find him.
Okay.
I can provide the number. I have Ms. Kendra that he responded to this morning to me.
Okay, if you would, please let Ms. Naranjo know that number.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want her to send it in chat, Judge?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think send it in the chat feature. Okay, Ms. Kincaid, anything today?
Your Honor, my client has requested that a home study be done on her mother. However, she's currently residing with her mother, so I understand that, she would have to move out before she could, before that home study could be completed. So that's just something to keep on the radar, that if it isn't in progress, that hopefully that's something that we can get started.
I am.
Okay, so Ms. Johns, if you move out and move somewhere else, then we could take a look at your mom as far as the home study is concerned. So you just need to let your attorney know if that happens.
Okay. Yeah, that's the problem. Right now, my mom is the only place that I got. I don't have nowhere else to go. And I've been trying to figure out places, but the shelters here, I know one of the shelters here is strictly for men. And then all the other women and children's shelters here, you got to be on a waiting list. So that's what's really messing me up right now. And I don't have the means to try to get a motel and stay at a motel or anything.
I understand that. And, we want you to get on your feet too. So, we've got, obviously we've got placement for the children right now. Their needs are being met. So, it gives you a chance to sort of get on your feet and figure out, what's next. And then when that time comes, then we can always look at your mom. Okay.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I don't have no problem leaving. I just want my kids back in Amarillo, because it's actually the not being able to see them or touch them and feel them. Yes, I'm going through a depression stage right now because of this situation. And I really do want my kids here at my mom's, and I don't have no problem leaving so they can be here in Amarillo, because the distance is bothering me a lot.
Well, let's do this. I mean, you've got an attorney assigned here now. You're going to have a permanency specialist assigned to you. Ms. Collins is here today. I mean, she's listening into all this. So, what I'd like to see happen, Ms. Collins, is for us to, basically let's sit down and have a meeting with mom and kind of talk about what her options may be, and see if we can give her some information about other shelters or other alternative places to live. And then if we can come up with something that works, then I'm fine with going ahead and initiating that home study on her mother.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Ms. Naranjo, anything else? Okay, and Mr. Michelson.
Thank you. I guess the only thing I would need is maybe an address for Mr. Forkpa in Liberia, so I could advise him of the proceedings.
Do we have any contact information on him, his house?
I know his deportation.
I don't have a phone number for him. I don't have a phone number for him. I just have an address that we have on file for Utah. I don't know if Ms. Johns might have, because she's the one that reported to me about him getting back to court. We don't have an address for him, though, or a phone number.
Ms. Johns, do you have any information about him?
No, ma'am. The last time I talked to David my daughter was 2 years old at that time. And that was the last time I ever saw him or spoke to him. And then his ex-girlfriend that is a friend of mine. She was like, she got word from one of his friends that he had got shot and killed in Houston. So I'm thinking he's deceased the whole entire time. And then that's when one of his other friends hit her up and was like, no, he's not dead at all. He's just been deported. So I don't know, none of, like, that's what was told to me. So I don't know if he's been deported or if he's still here in the USA or what. I don't know.
Okay. All right, Mr. Michelson, that didn't help you very much. I'm sorry.
No, it doesn't. Thank you, though.
Okay. All right, Ms. Zavala?
Your Honor, at this time, I've got nothing to add. I know that Ms. House is going to be forwarding me the placement information, but I've got no information at this time.
Okay.
Judge, I just found a David Forkpaw on Facebook who lives in Liberia, actually. Our office will file a motion to serve him by alternative service via Facebook, and I don't mind sending this to Mr. Michelson to at least a screenshot of what I pulled up on Facebook. But it says David Forkpaw lives in Liberia, so I don't know how common of a name that is, but at least there's one there.
Okay.
It's a good start.
Are there any photographs in that?
There it is. Let me just show it and see if Mom can confirm that's him.
Yeah, if we can.
Wait, no.
Ms. Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that him?
I don't know. Where do I go and look? In the chats?
Hang on, Melinda. Why don't you talk, Melinda, and it'll jump to you.
Okay, Miss Johns, can you see me? Can you see
yes, yes, ma'am. That is him.
That's him.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right, great. That's a good lead. Okay, then today what we're going to do is I'm going to continue the department as temporary managing conservator, and I'm going to continue the children's current placement. Find that there's a continuing danger to return the children home at this time, that the department is using reasonable efforts to reunify the family. I'm going to order the service plans as an order of the court, recognizing, however, that those must be amended to take care of the problem. Obviously, that those were prepared with a mind towards Jefferson County. We're now going to be in Potter County, so we'll need to get those done and amended and go over those with Ms. Johns and with any of the other parents that we can locate, as quickly as possible. So, but because those have been developed already in an existing case, I'm going to go ahead and order that the service plans are going to be in order of the court. And then if we need to subsequently, it might be a very good idea, Ms. Powell, you might want to make a note. I don't know whether it'll be you or Kim or Daniel, but we might want to do a subsequent order once we get those amended that says the amended service plans will be in order of the court.
Okay, and Judge, I know that at each permanency hearing, they do confirm that the service plans are in order of the court. So, however, we need to do that.
I just think at some point we ought to reference them as the amended service plans.
Okay.
Or whatever they're. Okay. All right then, Ms. Johns. I'm going to have our local agency that you'll be working with is called St. Francis Ministries, and they will assign a permanency specialist to work with you. And I'm hopeful that you all will have a meeting really soon, and maybe they can help get you some resources about some alternative living. And if we can get that worked out, then we certainly can move forward with a home study on your mom.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'll see everybody back for our initial permanency hearing on October 8th of 2024, and that'll be on a 9:00 docket.
Okay. Shoot, mine.
Okay. Thank you all so much, and Mr. Michelson, good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys that before we go on the record, I know this got sprung on everybody. I don't have anything, so you're going to have to act like I don't know anything. You don't have to educate me as long as everybody's on the same page. I know that these 3 cases are companion cases, and so just sort of treat me like the ABCs of this, but don't go into a lot of detail. I didn't have reports, but I will trust that y'all are all honest lawyers who still have your licenses, so we'll be good.
Yes, ma'am.
If I could have announcements in this, please.
Daniel Trial for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Christina Hunter is my permanency specialist. We're present ready, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Savannah Kincaid, I represent Ms. Johns. I'm present. My video just stopped. I'm present. Ms. Johns thought that we had an agreement, and so she may not be here this morning, but we've reviewed the orders.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Judge. Jeff Hill on behalf of Christopher Frost Sr. In the 90711 case.
Thank you.
Jay Michelson on behalf of Mr. Forkpa. Mr. Forkpa is out of the country. I don't expect him to appear, but I'm present and ready.
Thank you.
Henry Ronco on behalf of Javier Rivera. I've had no contact with Mr. Rivera.
Okay.
Stacy Zavala on behalf of Zion, Christopher, and Naraya.
Okay, I've got you all marked off. Let's go. Mr. Trout, your first witness.
Christina Hunter, Your Honor. Ms. Hunter, you are currently the permanency specialist on these 3 cases, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now you are new to these?
Yes, sir. I was assigned on September the 20th.
Okay. So going through the case, let's start with mom, since we can do her on all 3 cases. Have you had contact with mom?
I've had brief contact with Khadijah, yes.
Okay. And when was that?
Last week, actually.
Okay. How is mom doing? Has she started working services? How is she doing on her case?
She has started to engage in services, yes. I'm still, again, apologize. I'm still getting completely up to speed on everything. I know she has completed her OSAR, her psychological. The referral has been sent out for her to engage in therapy with Dolores Hinders. I'm uncertain at this time if she has actually set up the appointment to begin services with her. We've also provided her information to be able to start her parenting classes as well. And so we're supposed to be meeting with her today to follow up as to where she's at within those.
Okay. Do you know whether mom has found a job at this time?
No, she recently acquired her ID, and so she has been instructed to go ahead and start gaining gainful employment.
Okay. At this time, does she have a home, or is she still living in a shelter right now?
She's no longer living in a shelter. Unfortunately, she was requested to leave from the shelter due to not following their rules. So as of right now, she's still kind of couch surfing. I believe she's staying with a cousin at this point.
Okay. I noticed in the court report that on 9/5/24, she was asked to drug screen, but she was a no-show. Have you tried to get her to drug screen when you talked to her the other day?
No, she was actually sent to screen again on the 27th of September. She did not go whenever we requested her to go, but she did complete the hair follicle on the 30th of September. That did come back positive. I have not e-filed that with the courts as of yet, as I just saw it this morning. I'm happy to share the results if you'd like.
That's all right. You did get those, and those will be filed.
Yes.
Served everybody. Okay. But she did not UA that day?
No, she did not. We are requesting that she will be court ordered to UA for us today.
Okay. Was the UA on it and she refused it, or did it just not happen?
The UA was part of the screens that she was supposed to complete. She just did not get it done.
Okay. Do you know, has she started working on getting the WAVE class set up?
I'm uncertain of that at this point.
Okay. She's still attending visits?
Yes. She did miss last week, but that was not any of her fault. And the week before, she did also miss because she was locked up.
Okay. And is she having virtual, in-person, how are her visits going right now?
They are in-person visits.
Okay. And they're being supervised?
Yes.
At St. Francis or somewhere else?
They're being supervised by St. Francis, but we're having them at the visitation house to allow it to be a little bit more of a normal environment.
Okay. All right. And so your only request today, since mom is now engaging, is to have mom court ordered a drug screen?
Yes.
Okay, and you're only asking for a UA?
Yes.
Okay. How, I know you said you talked to mom briefly last week. Was that by phone or in person? How was that?
It was by phone.
Okay. So mom has a good phone number and you are able to get in touch with her when needed?
Whenever I tried to call her to let her know her visitation was going to be canceled, it went to voicemail. I did leave her a message and she said that she never got it. But the phone number that I do have for her is how she's been communicating with her parent support worker as well as her family support worker.
Okay. And do you know, is this a phone that's holding service or is it a Wi-Fi only phone? Do you know what kind of system she's on?
To my understanding, it is a phone that does have cell service.
Okay. So right now we're kind of in a holding pattern until mom really gets her services going, which she has started to engage in. Okay.
Yes, we're concerned about the stability aspect of things. We know that as of right now, she's currently out on bond due to her recent incarceration. So I would really appreciate it if we could also get a copy of the bond restrictions as well, just so that we can make sure that all rules are being followed.
And not into detail, what was mom, and did she tell you what she was incarcerated for?
She actually did not notify us that she got incarcerated. We found out through the mugshots. Okay. And so she was incarcerated, to my understanding, due to a fender bender that ended up adding.
I'm sorry, you cut out at the end.
It was a fender bender, to my understanding, that ended up resulting in multiple charges.
Okay. Any other updates on mom?
No, sir.
Okay. Excuse me. We'll start with the Frost case. Dad, Christopher Frost, have you been able to get in touch with him?
I have not physically made contact with him. To my understanding, he is still incarcerated. We have submitted for a local permanency specialist that's in the area where he's currently incarcerated to be able to go out and see him in person. He's not been responsive to the previous workers' attempts to contact him via mail. I know she sent several letters that she notified me of prior to her transferring the case to me.
Okay. And he's incarcerated in a TDCJ unit?
To my understanding, yes.
Okay. Do you know when last, I know support worker, but last correspondence has been mailed to him from St. Francis?
I do believe it would have been probably in September.
Any replies to that, to your knowledge?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you know, I know he was provided with a copy of the family plan. Do you know of any services he's able to work or is trying to work while he's in there?
Due to lack of response, I don't have any idea as to what services he's chose to engage in. I'm hoping that with the local permanency specialist being able to go out there, we can be able to get a better flow of communication going between us. I know prior worker had also sent, every time she sent a letter, she sent a copy of his family plan as well. And a lot of the local facilities actually have services that they can engage in while they are incarcerated. So I look forward to helping to establish a better plan with them in the future.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else on Dad and that, on Frost Dad?
No, sir.
Okay. On Rivera Dad, have you been able to establish any contact with him?
He does have communication with his parent support worker. It's very minimal, but he does respond, yes.
Okay. Do you know whether he has started any services?
To my understanding, he hasn't.
Okay. From reviewing the file, do you know, was he sent a copy of his family plan?
Yes.
Okay. Through contact with the support worker, do you know, did he receive that? Is he working on that? Do you know anything about that?
What I was informed when the case transferred is that the prior worker had went over the family plan with him. I'm uncertain as of right now if he has chose to engage in services. The information that have been provided from the parent support worker is anytime she tries to get him to engage, he says he's busy, he's at work, like those types. Okay. To my knowledge, I don't know with 100% certainty, but I don't believe so.
Okay. And where is he located?
He's local.
He's local, okay. Just not been able to find him at this time. You haven't?
I have not. No.
Okay. Do we need Dad to possibly do drug screen for us?
I would like to, yes. So if the court would like to go ahead and order that for him as well, I'm completely fine with that.
Anything, other updates on the Rivera Dad?
No, sir.
Okay. And then I never can say that name just right. It comes out weird. Dad on that, David Forkpa, have you been able to establish any contact with him?
No.
Okay. I know you're new to all of these cases, but have you been able to run any searches or to try to find him?
The previous worker had recently submitted for an accurate search, and so we're waiting for those results to come back and attempt to hopefully be able to find some information to be able to contact him with. So whenever those do come back, they will actually go to her previous supervisor, who is Ms. Collins, who's on with us today, and she'll be able to forward those to me.
Okay. So to your knowledge, that no communication's ever been established with him?
No, sir. He's been out of the country, to my understanding, the entirety of this case.
Okay. Do we know where out of the country?
I have it in my notes, but I don't remember off the top of my head, so I do apologize.
That's all right. But for the entirety of the case since we've had it, he's been out of the country.
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Any other updates you need to give the court or the court needs on anything else on these cases?
The kids are doing well. There's only one of the siblings is currently not placed with all the other ones. We were happily to know that we were able to prevent little Mr. Frost from getting discharged from his current placement. So he's still there with his other siblings. Zion is currently in a new foster home. She was placed there temporarily as a respite, but it's been established as of late yesterday evening that she's officially.
Well, I'm sorry. You cut out.
I'm sorry. That she's been officially placed in a new foster home that was a temporary respite. I think it'll be a wonderful fit for her. The foster mom has a lot of psychiatric history where she's been a psychiatrist and stuff like that prior. So I think she'll have a lot of insight and knowledge that will be able to help Zion. The visits are still every single week for all the siblings. All of the siblings are very bonded with each other. They're very bonded with mom. Whenever visits do happen, there's not any issues in regards that I've been made aware of between the children and mom. They miss her a lot. So I'm really, really hoping that Miss Johns will be able to pull it all together and be able to reunify with her children.
Okay. Any other updates?
At this time, no.
Okay. Your Honor, we just asked for the drug screens on mom, the UA, within the next 24 hours. And drug screening on the Rivera dad, as he is local and we do have some kind of contact with him. Other than that, I will pass the witness, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Kincaid, and please don't re-ask any questions. We're running short on time.
Thank you, Your Honor. The only thing I was going to ask was about visitation. The visits go well, right?
To my understanding, yes.
Okay. Would it be beneficial for Ms. Johns to get additional visitation at this time?
I think as of right now, I don't believe that it would be, just due to the fact that Ms. Johns needs to make sure that she's staying stable and there's still an issue with her sobriety as well.
Okay. Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
Thank you. Okay, let's go down the list here. Ms. Naranjo, however you say that. Kendra.
It's Miss Naranjo, Judge. Miss Hunter, can you pass along the contact information that the family support worker has on Mr. Rivera to my office?
Okay.
And is he located in Amarillo?
I'm not 100% certain, but I do know that he is local. I'm just not certain if he's Amarillo or Canyon or the surrounding, but he is somewhere close local.
So he would be able to drug screen here in town?
Yes, and if he's not able to go specifically here to Amarillo, we'll find the closest proximity to him that we are contracted with.
I'll pass witness.
Thank you. Mr. Michelson.
Based on the caseworker's testimony, no questions, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. And then let me see who else I got. Mr. Hill, any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Trout, do you have any other witnesses?
Your Honor, I do have a few questions.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Zavala.
That's okay. Ms. Hunter, as discussed, you're new to the case and Zion has a new placement, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you and I spoke yesterday about a number of different issues that it might be really helpful for us to have a meeting on to discuss how we address all of those, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and we're going to be circulating dates and probably looking at the next 2 weeks or so.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and some of those issues include how to work the scheduling for all the different kids, because we've got 2 different placements, but 2 different cottages in one placement, and we've got a sibling who's actually not in care that also we're looking at. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We're also looking at how to try to incorporate some extracurricular activities, looking at some med reviews and a possible icebreaker so that mom could get to know placement. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we've got a lot in the works that we're working on, but we're working on it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Those are all the questions I have.
Thank you. Sorry, thank you. Mr. Trout, any other witnesses?
No other witnesses, Your Honor.
I'm going to assume nobody else has a witness. If you do, please please raise your hand and I'll call on you. Okay, thank you. I have just a few questions. In the Forklift case, has he been served, the adjudicated dad in that case?
So we posted service through social media on him, Your Honor.
Okay.
That was affected on 9/9/24.
Great. Okay. And then I've just strongly urged the worker to contact the prison where the father in the Frost case is. They probably have some sort of services he could be offered, so please do that as soon as you possibly can. As far as reasonable efforts, I do find that the department has made reasonable efforts in this matter. I will order that the mother, and I do commend her, she has been working her services, take a UA today or as soon as she can possibly be contacted. Also, it's been requested that I believe Mr. Rivera, who's in the area, take a UA. That will also be ordered by the court. We do need to set a final. Do I have Rachel on here? Since this is the first permanency.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, we do need to set a final. The second perm in this case is set for February the 4th at 9. So do you have a final that I assume you're going to want to put all those together?
Yes, let me look 1 second.
Okay, thank you.
We can schedule the final on April 15th, Judge.
April 15th at what time?
At 9 o'clock.
Okay. And then I assume y'all will talk about that in more detail at the second perm. Okay, does that work with everybody's schedule?
Yes, ma'am.
Nobody out of the country going on late spring break, hanging out? Okay.
I wish.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Well, that's the day we pay our taxes, so it's a good day to be out of the country. Okay, so does anyone else have anything on these 3 cases today? Okay. Thank you. Did I miss anything? Y'all tell me. I'm getting rusty, so. All right. Thank y'all very much. We will. This will conclude the hearing of the 3 cases on Rivera.